Hello, everyone. I'm Bryce Whitaker, and welcome to a bonus edition of Gamer Lunch Break. This week is Bang the Dice Game Week, and we have on today the artist, and tomorrow we'll have on the designers, Michael Palm and Lucas Zack. If you're not playing Bang the Dice Game, you should be. It's a great, fun, quick game that I enjoy, that all my friends enjoy, and we play often. So with that, I'm going to go bring on our artist today. He is an excellent artist. Love his work. Love talking to him this week. So let's go ahead and bring on, and I'm going to say this, try to say this as Italian as I can, Riccardo Pieruccini. Pieruccini? Is that correct? If I'm wrong, I apologize.
Almost. It's a Pieruccini.
Yeah. It's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm pretty honored to be here. So I hope I'll give you a good environment, a good fun to hold all the followers of your station.
Yeah, well, it'd be great. This is the bonus episode today is a little early for me, so I just woke up. If I get a little tongue-tied, please bear with me. I've got a little bit of a coffee to keep things going. Riccardo, let's just start with your career. When did you start? How long have you been doing art? Maybe tell us a little bit about your education.
I started to be interested in art since my childhood. So when I was 3, I started sketching everything because we were really poor during the 80s and we didn't have a smartphone. So life was so boring. And sketching was one of the most interesting things to do, except cross-biking and soccer. So after you finished your knees with the bike and with soccer, you were forced to be at home, to stay at home by your mom. Your mom said, you must remain at home. So, oh my God, it's so boring. So I started to sketch everything during my childhood. I started with Transformers. I really was really involved with Transformers and robots in general because they were simple for me, made with the geometric forms. And then I started to be interested in everything about sketching. And obviously, I started to follow comics because there was the most beautiful and most entertainment during that period. I started with Marvel Comics, edited by Corno in Italy. I started with Spider-Man, Batman, and various other things, various other characters. And then I proceeded in being interested in it. After my period in high school, in which I read a lot of mangas and comics from USA and various parts of wars, I started to study in Academy of Art in Florence because I didn't have any idea in the period about my future career as artist. I started only because this was my passion. My expectation was to proceed in doing arts for hobby and then have my normal work, Because in Italy, during the 80s especially, these works was considered really, really weird and not good for people, not serious. After our first period, after my studying in academy, I started to work in a social background as a sort of nurse. I remember I did some social project with various other organizations. And then during this period, I realized that art maybe could have been the best work for me. I started to work after the academy, but only with some collateral works. I studied with designers. I studied with teachers to organize some courses and lessons for sketching. And then in my first period, I wasn't so involved. Then I realized that my best chance could have been became a complete artist. And after the 28, I started my work in a complete way. I became completely an artist. and then not proceeding this as an hobby, but as a real work with real taxes too. So I suppose you know this.
So we'll take a little look here at some of your artwork, and we had a question from the fans out there. Are you a Decepticon or an Autobot?
This is a very bad question. I love Autobots because they are good, but Decepticons are cool. So maybe I am a triple changer. So this sounds a triple changer can be someone that is not completely conscious about these sides. So, for example, I don't remember. I like Side Ring. Side Ring was one of my preferred characters. But I love both of them. So I don't have a side. Guys, Jules, I can't. So they are cool both. So I love Optimus Prime. I love Optimus Prime. I'm a very, very big follower of Optimus Prime. You must understand.
I really love Optimus, but I think if I had to pick one for myself, I would be old Megatron, not movie Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
Old
Yeah,
Megatron that turned into the gun.
I don't like that movies, except Bumblebee. But all the movies are terrible, very terrible.
We take a little look here at your artwork, and I wanted to ask you: do you find yourself doing more traditional style or digital, or is it a combination of both?
This is a good question, and as I told in some other meetings, this is a very, very good question for all the artists in this period. Digital art is developed about 15 years ago in a common way and used in comics starting from the 20s, the early 20s. Okay, so this is a relatively recent way to do art illustration, but it's fucking cool and is full of good issues that can permit you to work faster and better. But there are things that can be recreated with a digital work. So I suppose my best way is proceed in using both of them, classical and digital. I'm analogic because I was born in 1979. 1979, the year of Gundam. Okay, so and after I realized that digital was a natural evolution, but I can't forget completely my analogical origin. So I must proceed in using paper, pencils, colored pencil, watercolors, acrylic, because I love them, and every artist loves them.
Sure, and even if you're working in the traditional medium, I would think today you're still using digital means to replicate your work and send it around. So it's still a fusion of technology, even with traditional art. You're going to put thumbnails on the internet, and you're still working with the tradition with the digital medium. Yeah. Well, let's go into a little bit with Bang the Dice game here. First of all, your work here is fantastic, and I'm gonna hold up a box here of my particular favorite piece with the grave digger. And
so I like it.
Yeah,
I like it so much.
I love everything about this piece, and I wanted to ask you specifically, is this your favorite for Bang the Dice game? And just some of the choices that you made, I think, are interesting. The gravedigger's clothing, the sunglasses. Can you walk me through this particular one that you did and what you remember from it?
Yeah. I remember that the idea to put gravedigger was an idea developed with the editor of Da Vinci. There was Matteo Brustenghi that helped me in developing all the covers of the dice games. Because the cover is a fact that must be discussed with someone that know the public, the followers, the owners of Bang. Okay, so I must follow the taste of this. Gravedigger was one of the most interesting characters of the roster of this last expansion. So we choose him because his personality arrived from his same image, and the sunglasses were. The sunglasses on his face during the night too was a very very characteristical thing about the character. Gravedigger is composed by these sunglasses, and he take these sunglasses every time and everywhere because he's a guy that excavate graves. So with basically is a character that is composed by these elements. And without these sunglasses, Gravedigger, he couldn't have the appeal he have in this cover. Okay, so I left the sunglasses during this background in the night because it's very typical of the character.
Wow, this is really neat. When we were talking earlier this week, we got a fascinating insight into art that I hadn't really realized before, and I wanted to show the people, kind of at home watching this interview. So this is the Bang art from just the card game, and then here's some that you've done, and you can see that they're very distinctly different and unique pieces of art, but yet my eye and the way that I perceive this is that they're very similar, even though they're really not necessarily similar. And you had a reason for that.
Yes.
And what was that?
The reason is that during the development of a cover and of a Bang expansion, I must follow the suggestion and the rules given me by the editor. And the editor gave me a particular choice of colors. And the color must be a typical color of Western production. For example, do you remember the TV series Deadwood, for example, or the really popular Rockstar game Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, a masterpiece of video games of all times, and various other production that regards Western in general as a fictional genre. And you must choose some colors that reminds you something about this typical background. For example, the saturated color and hot color. For example, the yellow, brown of the material of your boots, and then the yellow of the sand, the brown of the horse, and then I suppose the color of the wood. That is a material on which barrels and houses and saloons are composed. Rocks and cactus, so early green and gray. Okay, so this mix of color with the color of the sky must be your palette, and you must follow this palette. In this particular detailed cover of Undead or Alive, I used the palette that is connected with the nocturnal background. So during the night I have a soft change of this, but if you see the color of, for example, the clothes of characters are really desaturated. Do you know this term? You must use color that are not pure yellow, but a yellow with a percentage of gray, and not red, but is a red that is not completely red, is mixed with gray too. So I have all this color, the blue of the night, and then I must follow this palette. That means that every part of this cover must be similar to the cover of the other artists of other series of Bang. For example, the Duel. I'm not the artist of the Duel 2. Maybe I want to be the artist of all product related to Bang's to Bang production. However, I received a lot of suggestions during the realization of cover. For example, this yellow is too powerful. Desaturated. Change this red with an orange. And then move this blue to a purple and desaturate it. So very, very defined suggestion that drove me to the final result, giving to the covers and the packaging of Bang the appearance, the look you can appreciate in all the products of Da Vinci games.
That's great. That's great. I would like to take another look here at some of your art, and we're going to put it up on the screen here.
As you wish.
And maybe if Sylvia's there, she can scroll down. I'm not sure I can.
You know, the sidebar?
I don't know if that's possible on the stream. Let's see. Let's see here. I am not finding a way to do that. All right. Well, you know what? We'll get back to that. So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing recently in art. What are you working on today?
Okay. I'm working actually a series of a magazine for Mondadori. There is an editor in Italy. It's a series for children. I was selected by Coffee Tree Studio, that is a studio, to realize with some other workers, some other artists, to realize the me versus you concept. Me versus you means me contro te, that are really popular YouTuber in Italy, 5 or 6 million of followers. So we are talking about big numbers. And we realized that something that is a connected fictional product, a series of a magazine of comics. So I realized that actually 3 or 4 episodes. I'm working on the 4th episode of this comics, and this is my basic activity. Then my side activity is to be a sketching teacher and a manga and comics teacher. Actually, I'm a teacher into Luca Manga School. That is a manga school born in Italy during the 2012, I remember.
Wow.
I started to work with them 5 years ago. We had very, very few students in the beginning. And now we are one of the most big manga school in Italy with more than 500 students every year. We are doing some web courses because with the COVID we stopped the live activity, the activity in presence. But actually we are working hard and a lot for a lot of courses. So I'm pretty happy about this work.
Sure. And we talked a little bit earlier about how artistry and comics in Italy maybe wasn't taken as seriously in the beginning, and I feel like some of these things that you're doing helps bring that to the foreground and make it a real profession that people should deserve to be paid for. Can you comment a little bit more on the history of how art is being perceived as a career in Italy?
Okay. In Italy, as I can see in every other part of the world, you must have the followers. In this period of social media is common, but this was common during the 90s too. You must have followers and be famous. What means to be famous? I don't know seriously, because it's a mix of various things. For example, I have a long career with a curriculum, CV, curriculum vitae, that is a proof of the professional works I did, added to the quality of my work. That is a quality that you can obtain after a practice and a long period of work. Except this, I can't explain in what an artist can be considered in this way, because usually with the social media, the work of artists is misunderstood a lot. A lot of people doesn't understand how much knowledge and ability is necessary to do this work. Because, in my opinion, everyone can be an artist, and talent is only a stupid bullshit told by some idiots. There's not talent. There's only passion and practice. I read comics, and my mind say to me, you must do comics, so you must practice to improve your level. There's no way except this. And this is the exact word of my master, Simone Bianchi, that is a pretty famous artist in Marvel. And Simone told me a lot of things when I was a student, and I believe strongly in this. I improve, and I'll improve, and I'll improve. But in this actual period, not all the people can understand this. They think that being an artist is, oh, I did a good sketch, so I am an artist. No, you must need, for example, a million of good sketch to start to call yourself an artist. You must work 6 or 8 hours a day to start to consider yourself an artist. You are not an artist if you sketch something, for example, every 4 days.
Sure.
It's nonsense. You must follow this. For example, a good guitarist, you can steer the guitar and become clever in using guitar without being Eric Clapton. Okay, if you want to be an artist, you must have practice with pencil. As if you want to be a guitarist, you must have practice with the guitar. If you want to be good in playing soccer, you must train yourself in soccer. So I don't understand why, for the people, the art must be different. It's a sort of prize you win sometimes in a random way. I did a sketch, I have the talent, so Christ decided that I'm an artist. What the fuck you're saying? Please, come on. I think that everyone has tried to simplify this because the illusion that art can be done in a casual way give to everyone the dream to be an artist for 5 minutes. But you must understand that every dream needs your sacrifice and your blood. You are not forced to be killed, but you must train yourself and you must be strong, respect yourself. You must be very, very hard with yourself and prove that you can do something. But you must not prove this to the other or to the world. You must prove to yourself. So you must enjoy that art is a challenge, not a prize, not a talent, not a something that is similar to a miracle. Art is not a miracle. It's a completely logical and emotional human activity that must be trained and improved with the experience and with the sacrifice. And sacrifice doesn't mean blood, it means work. And work is not bad. Okay, and everyone here is very, very sure that art is a sort of miraculous talent, as I told you first. And that's the reason for which in every part of the world, art is not considered a work. Oh, you do this for art, it's an hobby. Or you can do that in 5 minutes, so I don't need to pay you. It's not bad for you work because you like your work. No, this work needs my strength, needs my knowledge, and is a strength and a knowledge that you don't have. So you have to pay me. Because when it's someone repair your car, he's doing something that you're not able to do. If you are able to sketch as me, if you are able to do something that have a similar quality to my sketching, do by yourself. It's a piece of cake. And it's very simple to understand. If you need me to do your work, pay. Because my time costs, and my time is precious as the time of all the other human beings on this planet, I suppose.
We've kind of reached a point in an intersection where people are starting to understand that art is a craft. It's work. It's not just something you put on the internet. And at the same time, businesses, I think, are and people doing commissions and things are starting to realize the dedication and sacrifice that goes into it equals pay, and not this thing we always talk about of exposure. People think that exposure is somehow going to pay your bills, going to feed you. But really, the best way to appreciate an artist is to pay them. At least I think so, and from what you're saying, I think you do as well. The hard work deserves pay like anybody else, a doctor.
But I wanna add something to this perfect reflection you did. It's a good thought. You have to pay the artist, but you can pay the artist in various ways. For example, the exposure, okay, means something concrete. If you like the work of an artist and want to share the work of an artist, remind to put the credits. Don't use the image of an artist without giving the name of the the artists realized this. Come on, it's very simple. I see a lot of 14 years old people that, oh, I found this on web. I don't know the source. Try to find the source. Maybe you can spend 5 minutes to give a prize to the artist did this, or the artist must do everything for free. You are not forced to pay in a concrete way with money, but share and give to the name of the artist the real exposure.
Yeah.
If you use the image of an artist without saying his name, without giving the link of his website or of his social, you are stealing his work, and you are not giving the exposure to. The exposure is given as a sort of coin in exchange of the work, okay? But you are not giving the exposure. You're not giving the money, and you're not giving the exposure in this way, okay? So this is basic. This is basic. You must share. You must share the name of the artist. You must share his website or his social, and you must pay him if you want an original work, and say to your friends and to all the people are connected with you on social, this artist did this for me. It's basic. It's logic. It's logic. As you have to pay for a video game, for a console, or for a phone or a cup, for example, you must pay this. Okay. Sorry. I'm a little passionate about this discussion because money.
That's where you should be. Yeah, that's what you should be. So let's talk a little bit about somebody young, out of high school. Maybe they're in Italy. They want to become an artist. What is the advice that you give to them?
Okay, this is an interesting question. During your first period as artist, first of all, you must improve. Look around and look the production of the other artists, because there are a lot of people that are really high as level. Okay, after I discovered Facebook and various other socials during the 28, I'm talking 12 years ago, I realized that my level wasn't enough, and I was already working, but I started to try to improve myself. And I'm running to stay at the same level of the others. Okay, evolving my style. This could seem anxious, but it's not. It's only that first, during the analogic period, I wasn't perfectly conscious about the quantity and quality of artists I had around. But actually, I can know a lot of big artists. I can know a lot of production. I can order the art book. I can know a lot of different way to see the work. I have a lot of art books in my studio, and then I suggest you to look around and try to improve looking the work of the artist. First of all, you must understand that you must have a basic level. You can't survive in doing an artist if you're not able to do an anatomy correctly or a perspective. You can't expect that everyone will pay you if you are not trained in the basics. Because, for example, I'll give you a sample. Adventure Time, that is a very popular TV series. Okay, it's sketched in a free way. You don't need to know anatomy and perspective. Adventure Time is the work of a genius that is perfectly involved in the background of animation. Okay, so if you want to be someone that is able to create something completely original and weird as Adventure Time, you must know the basic of your work. If you want to create Adventure Time as your first step, you fail. In the same wave of a painter that start with the Cubism of Picasso is a failure, because Picasso started to do Cubism from the figurative art. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You must know the culture and the work that is behind an image. Adventure Time is a peculiar style that it was developed by an artist that sketched for all his life this thing and planned this type of characters and created an entire world. Adventure Time is an enormous work, and the style of Adventure Time is not simple. As style of Steven Universe, for example, is not simple. You must not think that a lot of simple graphic cartoons you are seeing around permits you to start to be an artist doing 2 or 3 sketches. You must not misunderstand this activity and this work in this way. Okay, so I suggest you to improve yourself, to improve your ability, and try to do something really awesome that seems awesome when is put when is compared with the other works of artists you can find on your socials, for example. Okay, the second step after you improve your abilities, create your own product, your own character, improve your fantasy over your hand and your mechanical abilities, and then improve your way to narrate, feeding your brain with a lot of different medias, video games, animation, movies, and comics too. But don't forget that read a single comic doesn't make you a comic reader. I read comics from my childhood. I read the Popeye of Elsie Chrysler Seeger, whose Popeye is one of the most popular USA characters in the world. And he's a fucking a sailor. He's an ignorant sailor that punched in the face everyone. Okay, but it was really popular. I started with these basic characters arrived from the 60s, and then I saw the cartoons of Hanna and Barbera, the Marvel and DC comics, the Image comics, the Wildstorm comics. I read a lot of things from USA. I loved the Mark Miller production. I simply became crazy when I discovered animes and mangas. I'm reading a lot of things. And I became crazy for cinema, because I lived in the period in which Wachowski created Matrix. I lived in this period in which Wachowski did a revolution about action movies, giving us the evolution of martial arts of the West, China and Japan and Thailand, in a fictional science fiction movie with Keanu Reeves. It's a mind blow. It was a mind blow. It was being a mind blow. So you must feed your brain, and you must be passionate, because I love all of things I told you. I love Transformers. I love Seven Deadly Sins. I love One Piece. I love Bang. I love board games too. My favorite board games was one of my favorites board games. Maybe is a board game that you don't know. It's StarQuest. StarQuest, that it was the basic version of Warhammer before Warhammer was created during the 80s. So I loved StarQuest a lot, and Bang, obviously, and some other basic games as Carcassonne or Munchkin. I love Munchkin a lot. I love a lot of things, and my love for these things change with the time. I connected with the series I saw when I was 5 or 6 years ago. For example, you remember Grandizer, that is called Goldrake in Italy, a robot with horns. Okay, yeah, fucking big robot with horns. Okay, but thank you, Goldrake, for my childhood, and thank you to have made my childhood awesome. Without a smartphone, the childhood was terrible. So thank you so much, Goldrake. Thank you, Grandizer. But now I'm moving on. And after Grandizer, there's Evangelion. And after Evangelion, there's Code Geass. And actually, I'm looking a lot of robot series that no one knows. For example, Line Barrels of Heaven, on one of the last Gundam series, Reconquista in G. I fucking don't understand what I'm saying, but I'm pretty happy that a lot of production are realized, and I'm feeding my brain with this, trying to involve my ideas. It's very difficult because there are a lot of things to see, but you must form your taste and form your aesthetic taste. That is very, very, very peculiar today. Now comics can't be considered a hobby for children because a lot of big artists worked in comics. John Buscema, Barry Windsor Smith, Travis Charest, Frank Shaw, Mir Candolfo, Sara Pichelli, Simone Bianchi. My master. Sorry, but I'm talking you about USA artists. I'm talking only about USA artists, but I know artists from all the world. I visited various conventions in Bruxelles. I knew, for example, Kim Won-ji, that is one of the most beautiful illustrators are in activity now, or Kim Jung-ji. Sorry, Kim Jung-ji. That is similar to the leader of Korea, but it is not the same name. Or I know Julian Joel. Julian Joel is one of the best comic artists in France. I know a lot of big artists. You must be I don't know. You must have the desire, the passion to know, to catch, to take the part of this artist, this ability. I want to copy this style. I want to copy some things. Look how beautiful are the women sketched by these artists. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I took too much time to.
No. It's actually fascinating, and the point I'd like to make too is, do you think that some artists in the world are kind of hard to discover and find because American American entertainment is kind of big and overwhelming?
Yes, actually, we are overcharging of entertainment everything because we have a lot of free time. We must reflect about our life and our priorities. The free time is given by our desire to evade our
Yeah,
lives, because our lives are stressful.
yeah,
Civilization means stress, a lot of stress, but stress can be drained with the entertainment, and the entertainment is a lot because it's became a business. Mangas are a business of a lot of piles of money.
yeah,
Talking about Gundam, selling the Gunpla Sunrise it is a sort of multinational industry. It became something so big that can be imagined. They are producing movies and TV series that cost a lot of money because they are having a lot of money from this brand. Okay, so you must travel on the web and search a lot to find something that no one else know, and bring exposure to some artists that remains unknown, because there are a lot of overexposing of things that are not so high in terms of quality. So you risk to misunderstood a good quality product with something different. Okay, so the exposure of artists today is a very very big problem, because actually it's not connected with the real ability of the artist to communicate something to you. The ability to communicate is composed by the ability to use social too, but an artist basically must do his work, that is do art, and try to communicate something with images. It's very hard work, and if you spend half of your time in trying to expose your work, to send your work on social, to make your work known by people, you will lose a lot of time that you'll not use to sketch or create new arts. Can you understand what's the problem for me?
yeah.
So this is basically the the bad thing about this period. The question we have to solve.
Do you now, just talking a little bit, obviously art is a competitive field because there's just so many artists. Do you find that the artist community is generally supportive of getting the word out of people's work, or is everybody kind of working on their own and being protective because they want this job, or is it a close knit group of support?
I don't think group of artists exists or can be considered one. There are a lot of different groups. For example, there's a group of art of erotic arts, or for example, arts connected with robots and science fiction, something connected with a specific production. There are a lot of communities about arts that are connected with some different styles and issues and themes basically. I don't think the art world is closed, but sometimes we need to do a better selection because everyone claims to be an artist, and this is the basic problem. I'm pretty unhappy in saying this because my desire is that art is free for everyone that wanna enjoy himself with art and practicing and improve himself with art. But often people claims themselves artists only to be considered artists, only cause be an artist is cool, an artist, and is not able to sketch or make a picture or dance or sing. This is a bad problem. People is very childish, childy. I don't know how to use this term because it's not mature. It's not mature attitude. I want to be an artist, but I don't want to work hard to be an artist. This is basically the in poor words what I mean. And we must do a selection, and often this selection means shitstorms. Your work sucks. Your work sucks. Your work sucks. And this is the only way, but it's not the right way. For example, I'm doing some courses for people that have from 10 to 13 years old. I'm focused on teaching, and my didactical ways, my didactical methods are structured on a truth, on a philosophy. My philosophy is don't try to teach someone so technical as the comics or manga sketching to children that is less than 10 years old. Is smaller than 10 years old. And then after this age, start and introduce him or her into the art with a very soft way in order to make him or her understand that the improvement needs that they sacrifice a little their time and have a little of not suffering, hard work to improve, okay, and slowly drive them to the concept that if you want something, you must take something and conquer something with your hard work.
I think that's just great advice. I feel like that's advice for life, not just art.
Yeah.
It's be excellent in your job, work hard, and have the ambition and drive to get what you want out of life. Yeah.
It's basically because art is connected with ourselves, with our feelings. Okay, I'm trying to represent my feelings. I have to represent myself and my feelings. I have to respect first myself, first and that second my feelings. And then to respect my feelings and myself, I must express my feelings and myself in the best way I can, and I have to work to do that. As the actor study how to modulate his voice, and the singer study to sing your song. Okay, if you wanna hear a song, you don't wanna hear a 14 years old that sing with auto tunes, something with a stupid text. You wanna hear Bonovox with you too, or you wanna hear Woodkid, you wanna hear Caparezza, you wanna hear Eminem, you wanna hear I don't know someone that can strongly communicate something with his art because he worked a lot on these arts. Okay, Rebecca Sugar, for example, worked a lot on Steven Universe, and I love Steven Universe because it's a very good piece of art. The entire series is a piece of art and communication about the inclusion, about the possibility to create a better world to live, to speak with the others, to share our feelings, and is communicating in a so soft and artistic and dynamic and powerful way. So I expect that people try to understand that often the most bad things you have to do is consider yourself an artist without experimenting, without trying to do some mistakes. I did a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of bad works before arriving to the level that permitted me to consider my actual works good. Okay, my works actually are pretty good. Okay, first I did a lot of trials, a lot of proofs, a lot of improvement, doing mistakes. I wasn't perfect before, and I will not perfect tomorrow. I became perfect with the practice, maybe. I don't know, but the focus is not becoming really perfect. Is driving myself to the perfection without touching the perfection in all my life. That's the aim of my thinking about art, and must be my aim for my entire life. I must follow a way to be today better than yesterday, and tomorrow better than today.
That's just a great a great life lesson right there for anybody who's thinking of art. And I saw the as we were scrolling the picture of Voltron and all of that, and I was such an '80s kid with you. I mean, I was into Voltron and He-Man, and all of that art has left an imprint on my mind. And even though I'm not an artist, it has lived with me for 40 years. You know, you have that image of what Skeletor looks like, of what Megatron looks like, and it never goes away. It starts when you're very little and stays with you your whole life. And I love that. Even though I'm not particularly good with drawing or pictures, that art is still such a big part of my life, and I think it's part of everybody's life, and they just don't realize it. But it was great talking to you today, Riccardo. Everyone, please visit Riccardo's links. We will put those on our YouTube.
Yeah.
Please stop by, say hi to him. Share his art with his permission. Make sure he gets the credit. Ask him questions. Maybe someday you'll be in his class. He's got this wealth of knowledge, and we are just extremely lucky to have him here today. Thank you, Riccardo. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you too. I'm honored to be here because I like it so much, the work I did with Da Vinci Jockey and Bang.
We appreciate you having here, and we'd love to have you back. Maybe someday we'll do an artist panel and have 2 or 3 artists on. But that'd be great. For Riccardo, this has been Bryce Whitaker. This is Gamer Lunch Break, and we will catch you tomorrow at our regular time as we interview the designers for Bang the Dice game, Michael Palm and Lucas Zach. We'll see you later.
Bye.